Hey guys, hope you're all having a wonderful day. So I thought that today I'd do a bit of a deep dive into one of my most favourite protagonists of all time, unsurprisingly from Final Fantasy VII, being Cloud Strife. This will be a deep dive into his psychological journey, exploring his identity crisis and the weight of false memories and his eventual path to self-acceptance and finding a place in the world. The world of Gaia in Final Fantasy VII itself sits just as vast and just as fragmented as Cloud's own memories being vast and fragmented. And in this crazy world, few characters will carry a burden as complex and deeply personal as Cloud Strife himself. His journey isn't just about saving the planet, it's about saving himself. And as cliche as that may sound, I'm going to show you why Cloud and his character has always been written to be anything but cliche. You see, from the outset, Cloud presents as the archetypal hero, strong, stoic, a former soldier first class. But underneath the spiky blonde hair and the oversized sword lies a shattered identity, a persona built on fragments of another's life and another's memories. Cloud's initial motivation is fueled by a narrative he's constructed himself, or rather that was constructed for him during the Genova project. The prestigious soldier rank, the memories of Nibelheim, all distorted reflections of another's lived experience, that of course being none other than Zack Fair. You see, the brilliant, puppy-like, but also tragic shadow of Zack Fair looms large throughout the story. But you see, the reason why Cloud built so much of his persona off of how Zack acts is because while Cloud, at the end of the Nibelheim incident and during the middle of the Genova project, was exposed to a lot of Mako poisoning and even more trauma. While doing that, he unwittingly absorbed Zack's memories, his dreams, his fears, his very identity. You see, it was a coping mechanism, a shield against his own perceived inadequacy. Now, during Disc 2 of the original FF7, we arrive at the painful unraveling of these false memories, particularly during the life stream sequence with Tifa, after they are both cast into the life stream during the Ultima Weapons attack on Midel. Within the life stream and within Cloud's own memories, alongside the memories of everyone else in the life stream within Gaia, lies Cloud's true trial by fire. It's a confrontation with the terrifying truth. He isn't the hero he believed himself to be. He was a regular infantryman, a grunt, consumed by envy and a desperate desire for recognition. Initially, this realization is devastating. It strips away his self-worth, leaving him adrift, vulnerable, and questioning his entire existence. Who is Cloud Strife, if not the persona he meticulously and painstakingly maintained? But you see, I said initially for a reason. This deconstruction is also his salvation. With the unwavering support of Tifa, his oldest friend and anchor to reality, Cloud begins the arduous process of rebuilding. He starts to embrace his true self, not the idealized hero, but the flawed, resilient individual who is a hero to other people in his own way. As Cloud himself says in one of my favorite lines from the original game, Cloud himself is the master of his own illusory world. And again, I think we can all relate to that in some way, myself definitely. And that is simply and truly who Cloud has always been deep down. A flawed, resilient, but also respectable and understandable individual who truly does know how to better himself so that he may protect and help the people around him that he cares for. As he said in Advent Children, there's nothing that he doesn't care for. But you see, finding one's place in the world isn't always about achieving greatness or fitting into a predefined role. For Cloud, it was about acknowledging his past, acknowledging his vulnerabilities, and realizing his inherent value, not because of what he wasn't, but because of who he is. He is a protector, a friend, a vital part of something bigger than himself. And I think we all are like that in our own way. You see, this is why I wanted to do this video on Cloud, because as much as they always like to play him up as the typical anime emo boy who always broods, I think Cloud is one of the best representations and best examples of a protagonist having thoughts, feelings, and emotions that push past that stoic hero barrier. I think Cloud is one of the most realistic mindsets out there, especially for people like us that always dream of something bigger. His journey teaches us that true strength lies not in borrowed glory, but in authentic self-acceptance. Cloud Strife, the humble infantryman who became a hero, ultimately found his place, not as a soldier, not as a remnant of Sephiroth or Genova, but as Cloud Strife, a man who, despite his internal battles, chooses to fight for those he loved and for the planet that he called home. You see, this is why Cloud is one of my most favourite characters, not just in Final Fantasy, but in all the fiction for that matter, and why he's stuck with me so much throughout all of these years. Because behind the cliche, sad anime emo boy archetype that he apparently appears to most people as, I think lies an excellently crafted and excellently written character that is just as equal part goofball as he is a strong, heroic badass. And this is exactly why he stuck with me for all these years, not just because of what I've said, but also because he shows us that in life, it's okay for us to sometimes fall apart and lose ourselves and break into a million pieces, so long as we use those pieces to put ourselves back together and make ourselves a more complete and more whole person that can stand back up as a more respectable, more intelligent, and better version of ourselves that is better equipped to not just take care of ourselves, but also the people around us that we love and wish to defend, just like Cloud did.